Welcome to You Could Talk Chalk, a space where we chat with odd-defying, way-making, change-agent entrepreneurs. We hope you enjoy their stories, insights, and experiences, and it inspires or encourages you to continue on your entrepreneurial journey. Because you could talk chalk, we're going to get it done. What's up, YCTC fam, and welcome back to another episode where today we are going to be discussing navigating small business ownership. And who's here to guide us through that? None other than LaShawna Griffith. How are you, darling? Welcome to the pod.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Good. So, tell us a little bit about LaShawna. We've been seeing right all over the place. You are all over my Instagram, and I kind of love it. I also had the privilege of working with LaShawna to do my press release, which was really well received. People was calling my phone like, I see it in my paper. So it was really well received, great written article. And the process of working with you was great. So tell us how LaShawna, the political major, goes from that to public relations. Walk us through that.
Oh, wow. When I was finishing up university at the West Indies, studying political science, my bachelor's degree, I had a friend, Rianne, and she was actually telling me that the media house that I applied to had vacancies for writers. So at that time, I already had my first book out. It was doing well on Walmart, Barnes & Noble. It was, big up at that time because I published in 2015.
Okay, wait, stay a pen. Tell us about that book. And then we can go back to that.
Oh, the first book was called LaShawna Unlock the Door. I actually wrote it when I was 21.
Okay.
Released it when I was 21 in 2015. Oh, wow. My baby. And the book just did well. I think that in a way, naming it Unlock the Door is exactly what it did.
Right.
It got me to places all around the world I never expected that my work would reach. And yeah, so coming out of that, people saw the success of that and they knew my writing ability. And she was like, hey, why you don't apply? And I was like, I got nothing better to do.
Right.
So I applied. And I must say that the CEO at the time took a chance on me.
Okay.
Because I had no formative training outside of having communication studies at Cape.
Okay.
And I went in and I fell in love with media. It became like this addictive process.
Nice.
But I saw the void that needed to be filled as well. I saw that, for persons who were unknown, they were going that pile that, when things slow, we'll call you.
Right.
And I felt that their story had just as much importance as persons who, are known.
Right.
Right. And especially for these small business owners, having that story can make or break their business.
Correct.
So I saw that. I remember I was telling my co-founder from around 2017, I want to start a business to help these people. And I kept saying it. And in 2019, I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and do it.
Wow. So 2019 is the beginning of a traumatic time for all of us, or leading into a traumatic time for all of us. We know that 2019 was the year we were all saying we outside 2020 and then burger down, we get hit with COVID.
Yeah.
So in seeing that void that was needed for smaller businesses, especially the marketing efforts for smaller businesses, because their budgets may not be in a space where they may be able to afford something bigger, like an article in a well-known paper. You saw that void and you filled it. So tell us about your whole process in starting your business. Outside of the void, what else fueled that for you?
Well, in COVID, I sat at home and I had quit my job September 2019.
Right.
And a week later, got a job working in a reputable hotel.
Okay.
And funny enough, the first person I saw was my former boss.
The boss, like, you know, quit?
The boss that I resigned from. And obviously when COVID hit, obviously hotels were impacted. So the person that I was working for, she decided to sell.
Okay.
And I sat at home like, I have this X amount of dollars in my savings from quitting, I got paid.
Right.
And I thought of all the skill sets that I had and how could I do it? And then it just came to me, why you don't just do what you want to do with the business, focusing on small business owners?
Right.
So I talked to my co-founder, and it was actually day of COVID, March 20th, 2020. And I was like, listen, I started this business today doing the Facebook. And he was with me. He was there doing the website. We started the website. on a free platform.
Right.
Started the Instagram. And then it was like, okay, so now how do we get people?
Right.
I remember I reached out to people I worked with before at the media house, and I was like, hey, I started up this thing. I want to do some short featurettes and post them on our Facebook, our website, and our Instagram. Will you guys be interested? And everybody said yes.
Nice.
And it was the one with Ronnie Morris that went viral.
Really?
His article, because obviously he did Barbados Music Awards
Yes.
et al. So many people saw that article and they ran with it. And it was like, okay, on to something. And then around August 2020 is when my co-founder, he was like, listen, let's add photography.
Okay.
And I think that was the pivotal moment, because we moved from doing press releases solely to now doing the full gamut of media production, where we're doing photography and videography. And then the contracts started to come in.
Right.
So the contract started to be more media production based, still with PR, but using media to push the messaging. And I think that is what made us now diverse, because we have these PR packages which also include media production, which makes us now a one-stop shop. So you can get everything under one house, and also it's not that expensive as if you went to like some of the top PR people. However, you're still getting the same level of quality. And that was something I'm very passionate about. Quality. Like when you come to Right, you should expect quality. If it's not quality, I don't do it. Like I want you to have, just because that you're only paying, a little $50 for a press release, doesn't mean that you're getting the reach. It means that you're investing in me and I'm investing in you. Right? And one of the good things that I love about this process is that all of the people that come to us, they get their article, and then they see them prospering. Because also too, I'm very passionate about intention. And every time I write an article, the intention is that the business grows. Because I see it as an investment. I know I had many people saying, why your article's $50? It's more than $50 a word. Duh. I know this. But it is that I recognize that for some of these small businesses, that is their last $50. I have witnessed people tell me that their boyfriends get them the $50.
Or it may just be a $50
that did not even have the $50.
Correct. I was about to say.
I told them, come true, I can still write it. Because for me, I know that when I started, I probably needed somebody to help me.
That's right.
However, because I was in media, I didn't have that struggle, because I could call a friend and be like, hey, remember last week you didn't want you didn't want some audio, and I sent it to you or whatever. So I had those relationships that when I started, I got all of my features, Morning Barbados, newspapers, you name it, I got it, because I had that relationship and still have that relationship with my media colleagues. But I was like, if I didn't have that privilege, I would need the same services too, right? And for me, when you recognize that there are so many businesses in Barbados that people don't know about, right? And then there are the new ones that just enter the market, and they're like, what do I do? What do I do? Because COVID made everybody realize that they need to monetize skills.
That's right.
Right? And for me, COVID made me realize that I also needed to refine my skills. So I did all the Coursera courses that I could find. I did them. I was home doing nothing, really. I was writing, and at that point in COVID, it was mainly, businesses are closing. They wanted something out. Some people just could not cope. They wanted a social media handle. They just didn't want to deal with the fact that they have to tell people, I'm shut. I'm
closing.
So it was a lot of that. And then when we moved into the photography, videography, it was a lot of people that wanted to have the visual component to say, hey, COVID is happening, but I'm still open.
I'm still here.
Or there were people that were like just doing the video saying, thank you, that's it, right? And I must say that it's been such an amazing roller coaster journey. Like for the business, seeing where we started from just doing, at the time, $30 press releases. And coming all the way up now to like covering major events, going to places and saying right, and getting loaded. Getting the VIP treatment. It is nice, and it really is humbling to know that you started a company just, with your last paycheck.
Literally.
Last paycheck, a hope and a prayer. And to see how successful it's been is really humbling. Some days it's very scary,
yes,
because obviously the element of success is something that people are now measuring you on.
Yeah.
And for me, someone that just likes to, be home playing with my dog.
In the shadows.
Yeah, it's be a lot, because even the way that you dress, like,
it has to be different. You're in the public eye, especially for media.
It's no different. And I find, for me, if I had my way, I would wear Jordans everywhere.
Well, then wear them.
I would wear Jordans.
I don't
everywhere.
understand. That takes me into this next question. And before we go any deeper, because you've said a lot just now that I want to dive into.
If you run a small or medium business, you probably already know accounting can be very hard to deal with. Envoici makes accounting easier, faster, and safer than ever before, allowing you to focus on what truly matters, growing your business. Visit www.envoici.com and get your free trial now.
So what is your definition of an entrepreneur?
I think an entrepreneur is really a problem solver. We see voids in the market and we seek to fix them. I know traditionally people say someone that starts a business. Not really, because you start the business based on a problem that you want to fix.
Correct.
In the market. So, like, for instance, with your business, virtual assistants, you realize that business owners need help.
Yes.
Like, we are tired sometimes from answering messages and emails and invoices.
Yep.
And when you're like me, a hands-on person that likes to like hold the camera in my hand and be there, sometimes it's so exhausting and you want that break, right? So, like, we all see problems in the market and seek how to fix them. And as we continue, we see other problems. So for me, with our business, we realized that people need training. And that's something now that we want to go into.
Okay.
In the next couple of months, we're partnering with someone to provide that training, because we realize everybody don't got PR background. Everyone doesn't know how to handle when a crisis happens or when a customer call and, cussing and getting on. How do you respond? And it was like, aha.
So an entrepreneur is someone you see as a void filler. Nice. Okay, so you've given us your definition of an entrepreneur. And you started your business when the world kind of stopped, March 20th, making this year 3 years that you've been in business. And there had to be hiccups in their ups and downs. So what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to mitigate the challenges of small business? Specific strategies or resources that you would have found useful? Just give the YCTC fam some information.
I would say that challenges will happen with any business, and it's how you look at the challenges. Because for us, we had a lot of challenges, especially with like equipment.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot of the equipment that we would want is not available in Barbados. You have to outsource it, whether you order it from Amazon or you order it from the manufacturers directly. And what we realized is that if we get equipment that was more mobile, in the fact that I'm learning to drive, but I don't have the cars yet, it's mobile and things are multi-purpose, that it would assist us with long-term goal.
Right.
So it's really seeing the challenge, but seeing it as a way to develop, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So like for me, I realized that the challenge that I had initially was that I was going to people to do the interview to write. Crazy, right?
Right.
So then I streamline it with the fact now that we have a system where it's more automated, whereas you get the email, you get your list of questions, you respond to them, whether you respond to them as a voice note, whether you respond to them as an email, whether it's that you respond to them sending me, your audio in a file.
Right.
The fact is that it's easier. And I found too that our clients like that option because they can be at home, they can be with their kids, they don't have to meet me physically to do it. And I found that has helped along the way. The advice I would give is just to be passionate about what you do and to just see those obstacles as ways to develop your skills, because we all will have obstacles in business. There will be things that happen unexpectedly. Like for me last year, one of the major moments I had was when I lost my dad, and it was challenging for me to still manage the business, manage my sanity, and still grieve.
Yeah.
And I found that for me, the business and the clients just became so homeful.
Yeah.
Homeful is a good word.
Homey.
It became so homey.
Yeah.
That, you know, they really rallied and supported me during that time that I swore that I could not write. And that's something that a lot of people may not know. Last year after my dad died, I could not write anything. And it was a moment that I had to be like, I need someone to write. So that's what it led to. I actually hired a freelance writer to assist me with writing because I couldn't. And it took me like 4 weeks.
No one knows how to navigate grief. Like we don't have
a weeks. Like
a module.
I would be sitting at the computer. I remember I sat at the computer. My co-founder was there and I sat at the computer and I said, I'm going to write this article. And my hands were like this. Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely no fingers. Nothing happened. And I was like, come on, Dad. The one thing we got in common is creativity. Come on.
Help me here.
Help me here. And that's when I realized that I needed to have a plan in place because if something does happen to me, God forbid, what are you going to do? Right? So
see that? Planning, people, outsourcing. It's a good thing, small business owners. Asking for help is a good thing. Getting somebody on your team is a good thing because why? We don't want to consistently work in our business. We want to be working on it. Go ahead.
And I find that, I see the thing right you said about asking for help.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of times as business people, and myself included, it's be hard to let go of your baby.
Of course.
Because, you know, you watch it grow up, it's now a toddler, and you gotta let go the reins. For me, it's be hard. I am not going to lie to you people on your talk shop. It's hard.
I've learned the art of being patient
hard
with my clients because that's one of the biggest things we have to overcome, letting go of the reins and letting somebody else handle it. But I think relishing in the fact that the freedom that letting go of the reins sometimes brings makes it worthwhile. Like you get to actually release some of the space in your brain and focus on other things. Well, you know, someone that you outsource handles it for you. Yeah. So how was that outsourcing situation for you? Like I know writing is a passion of yours and you have a style. Yeah. So how did giving that rein up to somebody else, how did that work for you? And do you still have a freelance writer?
We do still have the freelance writer. He's amazing. I must say that in that period, last year when my dad passed, I actually called him the same morning and I was like, hey, my dad died. I need you to write everything. Wow. And he was like, my condolences, everything? I was like, yes, everything. Because in that period, we were also doing script writing for a university overseas. Okay. So it was all the scripts, all the press releases, everything. Wow. And he did it so well. I was so happy with the way in which he did it. Obviously, I still needed to read over and Shawnify it. Yes. Because and that's something too that I'm still working out. Like, how do I teach people this style? Because I have to learn the right way. The right way. You get it? Like, obviously, like when we talked and we had our conversation on the phone, I felt your personality. Yeah. And then the article reflected that. So that even people that may not know you, they felt you. Yes. And it's so hard to teach that because it's just, you know what I mean?
It's a way. It's your way. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's true.
And to teach the vibe, it's be challenging.
What he'll bring though, or what your writers will bring though, is their own vibe that can kind of add to the right way. So what I always encourage my clients is to have a document that has the process, and then you just add your je ne sais quoi on top of that, or whoever you bring. But again, it comes to releasing that it's not always going to be the LaShawna way.
It's not going to be the LaShawna way.
Their way or this way, like, and it always will reflect though the mission and the basis of what Right represents.
Yeah, but he was a godsend, and I find that even sending him to some stuff, we've sent people to stuff, and we have another freelance videographer that we work with as well, and it's so refreshing to just be like, all right, so we got a job today at 10 o'clock. Yeah, you go.
What's up, YCTC fam? Right PR Services. We're going to talk about them right now. Right PR Services is your one-stop shop for all your public relation needs. They offer a gamut of services ranging from public relations, crisis management, press releases, virtual PR workshops, media production, photography, videography, graphic design,
editing services, transcription services, and so much more. Oh, that's a lot. At Right PR Services, you can rest assured that your story will be told the way you want it to be told. Give them a call today at 843-8093 or 572-1993. All right, guys, back to the pod.
There are so many benefits to having a team. And I always, again, encourage clients, outsource, ask for help. And recently, you had a feature. We're talking about highs now because I want you to share some advice about ups and downs and how you go through. So let's talk about the highs. You just had a feature in, tell me, Shout to Atlanta.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and how was that for you?
Well, I still processing Shout Atlanta because it's one of the most prestigious online magazines in Atlanta.
Okay.
And how it came about, and I've been saying this all the time, this lovely lady, Marcia Armstrong, from A Purpose Life, she recommended me, and it was so interesting. So Marcia is an OG of Right. Like she started at the very beginning, and we're so proud of her. She's like a Brains awardee, all this good stuff. And Marcia sent me a voice note like, "Hey LaShawna, I am nominating you for this newspaper at Atlanta. No promises, but you can see what happens." Okay. So I was like, "Hey Marcia, this is so great. People don't normally do these things for others, you know. I'm thankful of the opportunity." No, I didn't Google it yet. So I was like, But then when I Googled it, I went on their Instagram, 24.4K alone, Instagram. And then I was researching it, and I saw like all of these major, creative people. I saw that their website gets like up to 1 million views. And then I sat there like, she really recommended me for this? And I had a moment of pause where it was like, oh my God, this is going to be major. So then I sat with it, and then I got the email from them. And getting the email from them told me that my process with Right is something that international people using. It's the same process. You have
questions they ask.
You respond, send your picture, you're done. But then when I submitted it, I remember I was like, okay, I don't know if this is going to come, when this is going to come out. So let me and it was hard to hold it in, because for me, I wanted to celebrate this with the whole universe. And I remember I was coming from a client, and I was walking over the flyovers, and my phone kept going off. I kept getting these messages like, congratulations. And I was like, what?
Congratulations.
For what? And then that's when I saw that the article dropped. And I was like, I called my boyfriend, I called my mom, I called my auntie, and telling everybody the article out now. And the response was like, well, we at work. So when I get home, I can look at it. And my boyfriend was like, I'm so happy for you. We going out, we gonna celebrate it. And I was like, I'm not dressed to go out and celebrate. I gotta go home and change. But it was such a beautiful experience, because not only was it for me being one of the first people to be featured on such an international platform. Well, second, because Marcia was the first. But to have this experience as a PR company 3 years in, and also be able to showcase like what we're doing here in Barbados, and having that relationship between Atlanta, because for me, if I am featured, it means that they're now looking at other people in Barbados to be featured, which is amazing. And I feel like for me, it was just like it was just a moment where I felt as though it was like everything I've done led to this point. Growing up and having, in my report, most talkative in class. And then, when I was at large, people used to say most likely to succeed. My teachers also wrote in my book that they think that I'm going places.
I was bossy. So it was only obvious I had to start my own business.
No, I was so I was such an interesting
student. She's talkative and she's bossy. I was the head girl at primary school.
So here's the funny thing. So when I was at Lodge, it was at ISCF. Like the people that would go up with Miss Gill and be like, yes, that was me. I was yearbook president. I was in drama club. I was one
of them.
I was, people will consider them to be, the
nerds.
You said.
Nerds rock.
What you said, but I enjoyed that experience at school. So like, even being yearbook president, that was writing based.
I was just going to say, you've always been writing.
So I knew that I was passionate about writing, but I just never knew how it would take off because I'm also very passionate about politics.
I was just about to ask you. But you and all this writing, how you went from there to politics?
So here's the funny thing. UE broke my heart. I applied to UE to study law. I wanted to be a maritime lawyer, being out on the sea with the Coast Guard guys and looking cute. And
she had a plan, folks. A whole plan.
UE broke my heart. UE rejected me. UE said no. And then I applied again for another program, and they also told me no. My mom told me I should do linguistics because I had a grade 1 in English and COM at a high grade 2 at Cape, and she was like, you should do linguistics because like language is your thing.
Right.
Running away from that, I decided to apply for political science. I remember going home and telling my mom that she got paid UE, but I studied in political science. And she gave me, she did a face like that. She did a face like that.
Mommy, I understand. But hey, look what we have now.
So I did it, and everybody was like, you want to be a politician? I was like, maybe, we'll see how life goes. And I have never done much with the degree. But I put it to the bottom of emails. But I must say that I'm very passionate about politics. I always thought that the degree was a way for me to help Barbados prosper by having that political training that I could help with the reshaping of the society. Unfortunately, politics has a lot of nepotism and bigotry. But
Ooh, we ain't got enough time for this episode today if you go down that line, child. So let's just bring it back full circle.
We want to keep our jobs.
So, hey, work right now. So political science featured in international magazine, 3 years in with a COVID baby business. Tell us now, based on your experience, share some best practices that you think increase your success. Are there specific qualities or approaches you believe contributed to your growth in the local business space?
Well, first thing I would say, personality sells. People love some personality. I am always me.
Yes.
And
authentic personality sells, because a lot of people can take on other personalities, but just be yourself.
To
authentic personality.
That I was trying to teach her some brutal crank star, but she's not taking it in.
Not against brutal, not at all. But that just
she's not taking it in. But you never know.
Maybe
we may get there
one
soon.
of these days.
But like personality sells, and also passion. Yeah, because I'm passionate about everything I do, to the point that sometimes I miss and I call my clients' businesses ours. I'm like, our company.
It is.
Our
company.
In
a space of time, you take it on as yours.
Our company. And that's one thing. And also dedication to not only to myself and to my team, but to the client. So there are clients that would say, LaShawna, when I call you, just answer.
Yes.
Because I believe that if we're working together, when you call me, I should pick up.
Right.
Regardless of when it is, I'm going to pick up. And that's one of the things that makes our business so competitive. But people know when you call, right, just get through.
Right.
Regardless of what time you call, somebody could pick up the phone. Whether it's, good morning, or hey, somebody could pick up. Because there are times that people call me when I just, wake up and you do a stretch and then the phone ring. I just get my morning voice.
But let me be the voice of reason here, probably some controversy. Miss Ma'am, you need a boundary. Because, and I do understand being available for your clients. I get that and I applaud that. But there's no way I want to have a conversation when I'm not doing my first morning stretch. I don't understand. And I'm very big on boundaries. Yeah. I'm very big on training your clients on how to treat you. But we don't ever want to, and I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying, in the interest of self-preservation over time, because right will get bigger, it will expand. You want to make sure that your clients understand, all right, let me call LaShawna at 8:30. Because I know even though she's get up at 7, she might still want to drink a cup of tea, have a little breakfast stretch. Let me respect business hours. Yeah. I'm always big on encouraging small business owners, our business owners, period, to have boundaries of times that you're available, times you're not available, though I do applaud that they can always reach you, because I have reached out to you at some very funny times because this isn't like, oh, and ma'am responded. I was like, girl, go to sleep. No. But she is always very available. But in time, I'm advising curb
Listen,
that.
You see, our right clients know the time is 9 to 5. But I do understand that sometimes you want to ask a little question or you got something pop up. So I try to accommodate as best I can. And then too, sometimes if it's a day like I'm away from the office or whatever, I try to check and see what's going on and that sort of stuff. So I don't mind it. And I found no one has been crazy to call me like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the night. So the latest we will go to is about 8 o'clock, depending on who it is. But nobody don't pass that 8 o'clock period.
So personality, passion, availability for clients.
And excellence, man. You gotta be excellent. And I don't mean excellence as in, oh my God, you got all these awards and so on. Excellence in terms of the way that you deal with the clients. You want them to feel as though they're important, whether they're spending 10,000 or 1,000. You want them to feel as though like they matter. Definitely. And that's something that's so important because people, as I said earlier, for some of these people, this is their last set of money. You gotta treat the people that you care about them.
Correct.
Let them know that they matter, and also ensure that it's a high level of service. High level of service.
Good stuff.
And the way in which you talk to them, the way in which you allow them to share their story, because as I tell people, our slogan is we write it right the first time. We're also telling your story. And I'm very passionate about the story. When you're telling someone's story, it should be the narrative that they want to be told.
Correct.
So I take it very seriously. And I would say dedication, passion, personality, and treat your customer the way you would like to be treated if you were a customer.
Good stuff.
Treat the people properly.
Treat the people properly.
Treat the people properly.
Give 18-year-old LaShawna a piece of advice.
Woo! 18-year-old LaShawna boy. I would tell her that things get better. She was now going into university, and she was the first person from her household to go to university. Nice. And she was anxious as hell. Because, the pressure, it's not really, parents tell you go to university and learn.
There is
the pressure of knowing that you're the first person in your household to break that curse, to get to university, it was hard. Like the expectations you put on yourself to do well, it was hard, and you got finished. And then too, for me, I was watching my parents work multiple jobs that I could just go. Right. So things get better. Stay the course and never know what could happen. You can find out some amazing things. You can experience some things for the first time. You're probably going to be really proud of yourself that you overcame so many adversities to get to this point.
Good stuff. So let the good people of Envoici TC know where they can find you, how they can work with you, and what's coming up next for Right.
Okay, so you can find us on Instagram at Right PR Services 246, which is WRITE PR Services 246. You can find us on Facebook, Right PR Services. You can also go on our website, www.rightrightprservices.com, or you can give me a call at 843-8093. We look forward to writing it right the first time.
You heard her, guys. You can find her everywhere. So thank you so much, LaShawna, for being on the pod and telling us how you navigated through small business. It was a pleasure having a conversation.
It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And regardless of what we have to do, you could talk shop. We're going to get it done. Thanks for watching YCTC fam. Be sure to spread the word and encourage others to take in these gems from our local entrepreneurs. Also, follow us on all social platforms at You Could Talk Chalk. See you next time.